Hey everyone, welcome. How you guys doing? So, I uploaded a video a couple days ago about a cool Netrunner build that I have, and a bunch of people were kind of questioning like what it was. So today I'm actually uploading the full video showing you what I have, the cyberware and everything with it that makes my gameplay in the way that I like it run. Okay, so let's look at our character attributes. So, as you see here, we have intelligence at 20, technical ability at 20, and body at 11. Those are the three major ones that I actually want to talk about today. Yes, reflexes and cool are up there as well, however, they're not really important to the build, just kind of my playstyle. So, the major one we're going to look at is intelligence. So, as you see here, the middle tree and the left tree are both fully kitted out. There are a few things that don't really matter to the build that actually genuinely, you don't really need, but I filled it out. So here's going to be the kind of important keynotes that we kind of need to choose through it. Of course, we need to go through all the center trees and actually max out all of them. Not only do they give you -1 RAM cost on a bunch of different things, they also give you RAM and also give you access to queues. Right? So one of the first things that we're going to be looking at is the perk data recycler. So for me, I want to make sure that I neutralize an enemy the first time around. So there are a lot of times where I'm a little worried that I'm not going to do it, so I upload a little bit more into it than I need, and if one of them gets neutralized before the other ones go off, I still get some RAM back, so it does help me out a lot in the end. Second thing we're going to look at is feedback loop. So we get 25% RAM recovery rate for each quick hack currently in the queue. So the more we add, that also little bit of time that we actually get more RAM back. So even if we upload multiple different things that we don't really need onto an enemy, not only are we going to get it back from it not even being used, we're also going to get a faster recovery rate, so we actually end up with more, right? The next major perk that we're going to look at is encryption. So it's just -30% traceability for all quick hacks. It's one of the best points that you could put into anything that you have here. With the deck that we're currently running as well, which we're going to show you, basically when you go through cameras, you're going to be pretty much invisible uploading quick hacks, especially if you have Mind Erasure, which is one of the best quick hacks in my opinion as well. So another good one that we're going to look at is speculation. Neutralizing an enemy with a combat quick hack recovers RAM equal 25% of the total cost of all quick hacks affecting the target. So basically, whenever we have a bunch of dots on something, we actually get a bunch more RAM coming back when that target gets neutralized. So another perk that I have is System Overwhelm. So at the early game, when I still didn't have my one-shot ones, System Overwhelm was very, very good. This quick hack damage, 7% quick hack damage for each unique quick hack and dot affecting the target. So if you have multiple different things such as, like weapon malfunction or blindness or changing whatever you want on it, and then you put a dot on it, it's going to do a bunch more damage to that person than just normal. So it's one that I used very, very early on. Also, it genuinely helps with one of my quick hacks for system malfunction, which already amplifies damage for other things. So since that's still affecting it, it's also going to get a 7% damage quick hack with my other big ones. So the next one that we're going to be looking at is actually overclock. So the reason why I want to specify this one, because I know in all the other ones we're just like, yeah, just max out all the ones in the main line. This one I actually want to talk to you about. So at level 3, we unlock something called overclock mode. So when we have a cyber deck, we could hit E. Whenever we use it, basically our health becomes RAM. So with that, that's also another reason why I went 11 in body, so I could get a lot more health just so I could get more RAM. So that 22 that we have gives us 22 health, which also increases our RAM by at least 2 extra RAM. And I know it seems very small, but it's helped me in so many situations. So we're going to be also looking at Race Against the Mind. When overclock is active, our increased quick hack damage as health decreases. So basically what happens is when our health goes lower, the quick hacks get stronger. So what I do is I normally do a bunch of different small ones and then I go for the bigger enemies and I do my big hits. So it's going to be my big hits that already get multiplied by having system malfunctions, then boosted up even more by my health decrease. So the next two perks that we're going to talk about in tandem. The first one's going to be sublimation. When overclock is active, all RAM recovery effects will also regenerate our health. So when we were talking about this one over here where our RAM recovery rate is increased for each quick hack currently in a queue, we're going to be getting so much RAM recovery rate back into our health that just it's crazy. And then we also have a blood daemon. When overclock is active, we get 40 health for each quick hack queued on an enemy at the time that we neutralize them. So not only are we going to be getting a lot more health for having like even more stuff in the queue, we're going to be getting more health even from that. So we're going to be just getting so much health back. Okay, so back into this one. Another one that we're going to be quickly talking about is just our body stat. Our body stat has Painkiller, which unlocks regen in combat. For us, that's kind of important because it also does help us just a little bit with that regeneration. And I also do have 1% health regen rate for each percentage of health missing. So the lower health we have, the higher health that we're going to be getting back. Okay, so now that we look at our attributes and perk points and where we put them all, now we're going to be looking at our cyberware. So we have a bunch of cyberware here, but the ones that actually genuinely matter is our frontal cortex, our operating system, one thing in our skeleton, one thing in our circulatory system, and definitely our eyes. So let's first look at the most important thing of this build, the operating system. Now granted, there's other operating systems and other decks out there that actually did really well for me. Just the basic deck just to get you through the game is actually really well, but for me this is the one that kind of is the top tier of them all. So not only does it let you have negative traceability when you upload stuff through cameras, you also get 30% damage and 20% effect duration on all enemies if you go through a camera. I like messing with cars, so it gives you a negative 50% RAM cost for device and vehicle quick hacks. So it's super cool. All right, so the next couple things we're going to be looking at is our frontal cortex. So the frontal cortex gives us RAM when we neutralize an enemy. So whenever we neutralize 5 to 6 people in a row, not only are we going to get RAM from that also gives us RAM recovery in our HP as well. Then it also works on our RAM upgrade. It just gives us 2 RAM as well as a higher RAM recovery rate, which once again, it just also will help us with our health. Then we have our X-Sticks. It just gives us 6 RAM. It's super good. The next thing we're going to talk about is the RAM recoup. So basically what it does is whenever we receive damage, we get RAM back to 3% of it. So basically whenever we are going to, take damage, which we absolutely will, we're going to be getting RAM back for it. It also gives us another RAM. Every single one of our cybernetics, I've looked for where we get +1 RAM and something. So if there's some place where we get it, I put it on there. All right, so the next one we're gonna look at is the circulatory system. I know it sounds weird, but right over here, we're gonna be looking at 7% health when we neutralize an enemy. And since whenever we turn on overclocking, our health counts as RAM, and when we get our health back, we're getting RAM back, so we could once again keep uploading more and more quick hacks. Then we have the Kuroshi Sentry Optics. If you're a Netrunner, you're pretty much going to be using this one. I haven't seen one that I liked more, but this one, it allows me to look at cameras and turrets within 37 meters, as well as lets me basically see it through walls. So I'm like, cool, I know where that camera is, and I'm able to hack it. Okay, so now that we've actually looked at all of our cybernetics, let's actually look at the quick hacks that I have installed. So I have quite a bit. I have the Synapse Burnout, I have Cyberware Malfunction, I have Contagion, Short Circuit, Ping, Memory Wipe, Overheat, and Reboot Optics. There's a couple different things that I do have. Like I have every single one. I also have a few other quick hacks that I use besides the one that I have currently equipped. I'm able to swap them out freely. So basically one of the ones that I actually look at is down here at the System Collapse. One of the major ones why System Collapse is so good is not only does it do a good knockout without letting anyone know, at the very bottom with Legendary, if I neutralize an enemy with Quick Hack, it already reduces the trace progress by 20%. However, it also, if I neutralize an enemy Netrunner, all trace progress is removed. So it's super good. Another one that I use to switch out is the Memory Wipe. So if you look at the difference between the Epic or Tier 4 Memory Wipe to the Legendary version, it is 32 versus 10. Now, the reason why it's such a big difference is at the very bottom of the Legendary one is it forces all enemies to exit combat state, which is very good. So one of the things that I use is I switch out the Memory Wipe from Legendary to Epic. Reason being is if I'm using something such as Synapse Burnout, I'm able to use Memory Wipe after it and no trace will even start on me. I could just knock someone out and even if someone sees it, they'll look around, but because I use Memory Wipe, there's no trace that will start. So it helps me just be quiet. And that's the reason why I still have a lot of my purple quick hacks as well as my legendary quick hacks. So that's pretty much everything with my build. That's all the stuff that I run with, everything with that. And let's look at our stats just to end it off here. So if we look at our damage per second, we can go down here to the quick hack damage. We do 14% more quick hack damage, which is, you know, really, really good for this. And we go to other, we have 34 RAM and 53 recovery rate while in combat. It's actually a super, super good one. I'm actually really, really happy about this playthrough. As you see that I've played 63 hours in it, and I'm still having a blast. I haven't gone through the new DLC yet, so if there's anything that changes with this build with that, then we'll look at that. But for now, this is pretty much the build that I'm running with. But yeah, that's pretty much everything with that. So after this, there's going to be a quick little thing about me taking over a camp. It's about 3 to 4 minutes long. If you want to watch through that, that's awesome. It's how I do it in my quote-unquote stealthy way. I'm still detected at one point by one of the machines flying towards me. However, it was still something that I was able to do without even moving a couple of feet. But later on, there was a spot that I was able to fight a couple enemies going a little bit more aggressive. I wish I was recording this at the time, but there was a gig that I was doing that was supposed to be super stealthy. I was supposed to grab a car and just drive away. But when I did that, there were 2 enemies, just random enemies on the road that crashed behind me and alerted the entire base, which basically made me go, you know what? All right, well, everything's alerted. Let's just go full auto here. So I switched over to my monowire, jumped around, exploding cars, neutralizing enemies. There's robots that just walked in from the other side of the motel. I neutralized them, and it was like, well, that was pretty easy. Like, even with the fact of this is meant to be like a Netrunner build, we were still able to go super, super heavy combat. And it's one of the things that it's super, super versatile, and I really, really love it. So I hope you do too. But yeah, here's a couple of videos that you're able to see, able to look at a couple different things. But yeah, talk to you guys later. Peace, everyone.
Hey, new gig on the horizon. Militech detained a smuggler by the name of Bruce Welby at the border. His buddy wants him out. It's no surprise, but he needs someone to do the dirty work and make sure Bruce tastes freedom once again. Specifics attached.
Bruce.
Is this a test? You have my pro... Wait. You're not Militech.
Easy, Chum. Archie sent me.
Archie? Archie Crane?
The very same. Don't go jumping for joy. Gotta get out of here.
Archie knew who to send.
You sat here long enough. Let's shake that rust off.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Brucey, baby! We're starting to think we'd never get you out of that dump.
Archie, you piece of shit.
What?
It's because of people like you that camp even exists. I saw you behind the wheel. How much they paying you, huh?
Enough for me to buy your ticket out of here. You can thank me later. Right now, we gotta get moving. Oh, and V, if you ever plan on quitting Night City, careful around the borders. Accidents have a way of turning fatal.
V, I appreciate you handling things as cleanly as you did, and exactly as agreed. Bruce was freed and escorted back to Archer Hall. And the fact that you did it without unnecessary bloodshed isn't lost on me. The payment should be marked in your account by now. Contract closed.